Today here at Urban Egg we are going to assemble a 10-hole rollout nest box. I have the packing box opened up so we can have a look. Be warned that this is a heavy box, a little over 90 pounds, so just be careful when you're moving this thing around or have two people. That makes it a lot easier. But opening this up, we'll go through it. These are the vertical walls. So there are going to be 3 that are labeled with an L for left. And 3 vertical walls labeled with an R for right. We have a big bag of hardware. This has lots of the bolts and nuts and a lot of rivets, if you're able to use rivets. These are the kind of the floor underneath each nest hole. Okay, underneath the left and right labeled walls, we have all the parts for the egg collection boxes. There are 2 egg collection boxes that will go onto the 10-hole, a lower and an upper, and some of the other parts that go with it. Alright, so these are the bottom of the egg collection boxes, and we're going to start with these and get these partially assembled. And the last piece in the box is the roof. And we'll be putting that on in a little bit when we put the main structure together. Okay, our first step is to do a little bit of pre-assembly on the collection box. So I have the bottom of the collection box. It has this hole here. It's kind of like a trap door, so you can just hose it out for an easy washout. This is the little slide door that we will be putting on, and the hardware needed. So you'll need 4 washers, 4 bolts, 4 lock nuts for each collection box to put on the little slide door. Now the lock nuts, there's only a few of them in the hardware bag, and they're different from all of the other nuts. So it's a little bit like Where's Waldo, but they're in there. So go through and find them. And next step will be putting on the slide door. Okay, so here is the bottom of the collection box. So you're going to have the bolt top on the inside of the collection box, and everything else is on the bottom of the collection box. So we have the lock nut and the washer on this side, and you're going to want to tighten this not all the way tight, but almost all the way tight, so the door can slide open and shut relatively easily. So we need to do this to both of the egg collection box bottoms, and then we'll move on to step 2. So we now have the little slide door assembly all put together on the bottom of the collection box. Now we're going to put the end caps on to the bottom of the collection box. And what you can see here is it fits on and then goes over the front as well. And then there's about 3 or 4 spots to put in a bolt and a washer. So I'll go ahead and do that, and we'll see what it looks like. Alright, just a quick shot to show the end caps on the nest box. You see the 2 bolts on the inside, 1 on the front, how it looks on the underside. A slide out door there. Alright, so the two collection boxes for now will be put aside, and we will start working on the main body of the nest box. Working on the main body of the nest box, you're going to want to get your walls, the vertical walls, the walls labeled with the R and the L. And when you are looking at the front of the nest box, so it has this angled edge, you want to have your walls, this is very important, very critical. So when you're looking at it, you want to have right. Okay, so when working on the main body of the nest box, you want to get your vertical walls. There are 6 walls, 3 that are labeled with the R, and 3 that will be labeled with the L. And when you're looking at the front of the nest box, so the angled top, you want to make sure you have your walls positioned right, 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 left, left, left. If you try and do these left, right, the nest box hole sizes are not the correct size, and it's going to cause you a lot of problems. And especially if you decide to rivet the main body together. And we will get to that here shortly. So what we want to do is get an outside wall for the right side, outside wall for the left side, and then we are going to put on the front and back panels onto these walls. And when we put these on, we want to make sure the holes get lined up correctly. So you can see there's one hole that is open on the bottom, and that's how we're going to want it. And there'll be one for the top as well. The upper level, same thing. We want one hole that is open on the bottom. So what we will do now is start attaching these front panels. This is where the eggs will be rolling out to both sides. And we'll go from there. And you want to make sure the hole, the shorter side is down, longer side is towards the top. So when we start to attach the front and back panels, if you're lucky enough, you will have a rivet gun like this one. Now this one is connected to an air compressor, so it's quick and powerful. There are other types out there that are manual, where you have to squeeze it with your hand. Those take quite a bit more time and are a bit of an annoyance. If you don't have a rivet gun, you can just use bolts. So something about the same size as the ones provided in the hardware bag. So you just have to go to a local hardware store to get some. Now the bolts will take you longer to put it all together, and then you'll probably have to periodically go around and tighten, make sure they're tight if they've loosened over time. So I'll put on a few of these rivets and then we'll have a look. Okay, a bit noisy with the air compressor going, but there are the rivets installed, shot in on both edges. And now we will continue to put in the inner walls and do the same thing. Okay, we got the bottom front panel on, all of the walls in place. And remember, left, 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 right, right, right. Now we're going to put on the upper panel. We'll take a shot of that and then we'll flip it over and do the back panels. Here is the front of the nest box now, with the two front panels all attached with the rivets. And next stop will be the back of the nest box. And we will line up these back panels, solid back panels, to match the front two panels. So that's next step. All right. Back panels are now riveted on. And we are ready for the roof. So we'll get this bad boy up. And we will get the roof. Alright, the roof. So the back is with this larger bend. That will go towards the back. And we just need to get all the holes to align. And this will be the last set of rivets that we'll need to do. So everything is a rivet except for here and here. This will be a bolt, and this will attach the brackets that you can hang this on the wall. But everything else is a rivet if you're doing rivets. Okay, we now have the main body completely assembled, front and back. Vertical walls, front and back panels. You can see right here we will put on the wall brackets. And after we do that, we'll be ready to attach the collection boxes in the front. So putting on the collection box, I find it's easiest to lean the entire nest onto its back and then assemble the lower one first, or attach it. So you remember I was saying you wanted to have one hole on the bottom that was open, and that's one of the attachment points for the collection box, and that goes all the way down. So all of these will be attached just with a bolt. And then there will be one attachment with the onto the panel here, right there. Okay, nest box attached at the bottom. Sorry, you can see the top of the bolt there. Next step is putting on this cover piece onto the collection box, and again you can see where it will connect with bolts all the way across, and then the hinge for the door will be attached to this part. This will allow the door to open and close. Okay, Got the hinge on. This piece is secure. Next stop is the door. All right, this will be the door once we attach. Has the PVC perch on it here, and you can see the holes where they will line up with the hinge. So we'll attach on both sides, and then this nest box is complete. Okay, we got the door attached to the hinge on both sides. Now we just do the same thing to the upper collection box, and we're almost done. So we have the second collection box on top, all assembled and attached. The last thing we need to do to the structure of the nest box is add these brackets that will hold the extension perch for the birds to jump on and then to jump up to the second level. And what we're going to need to do, if you remember these screws on the bottom, we're going to take these guys out, and then we will re-screw them on to the bracket as well as in the other spots. And this will secure it tightly to the collection box.